Hello all, welcome back. Today we are going to learn one of the important topic of the MQSC. We are going to create a cluster through MQSC script, and you will learn from basic. You don't need to worry about that anything. We will go through each step by step. First, we will let's just understand this diagram. If you understand this diagram, then it will be easy for you to create a cluster through MQSC script. In this cluster, we are using four Q measure. In this cluster, we are using four Q measure: QMC1, QMC22, and QMC3 and QMC4. We are keeping this Q measure as a full repo, and this QMC3 and QMC4 as a partial repo. So let's recap what the usage of full repo and partial repo. Full repo is used to store information about the partial repos managers. What is going inside them partial repos, they both full repos will be store information. We require only one full repo. We can work with one full repo, but we keep two full repo because in case one full repo is somehow got down, then other we can use with the other full repo. For the creation of and we keep the whole full repo and partial repo inside a cluster and named it as a cluster1. You see here, I named it a cluster1. So we are creating a cluster whose name is cluster1, and we are keeping two queue manager as a full repo and two as a partial repo, and we will see by sending message from one queue manager to other and see how message is going. You know that both full repo communicate with each other. So there is a sender channel required between the full repo each other. There is sender channel required for the QMC1 to talk with the QMC2, and there is a sender channel required with the QMC2 to talk with the QMC1. Also, each queue manager in a cluster have at least have a receiver channel. So here all QMC1, QMC2, QMC3, QMC4 all having a receiver channel. You can see this is a receiver channel, this is a receiver channel, this is a receiver channel, this is a receiver channel. Already I have given a receiver channel's name. For this I have named cluster1.qmc1, that is receiver channel. Cluster1.qmc2, that is receiver channel. Then for the qmc2, cluster1.qmc3 is a cluster receiver channel for 3, and cluster1.qmc4 is a receiver channel for qmc4. Now you know that this is there is also require a sender channel. So we have created a sender channel for also from this to this and this to this. Also you know that partial repo send information to one of the full repo so that they can if QMC1 store the information, it will send to the QMC2. So we need one sender channel between partial repo to the full repo. So I have created a sender channel between the QMC3 to QMC1 and QMC4 to QMC1, because this time I am using QMC1 as a full repo that is currently used. I am not using the both. If you can use both QMC1, QMC2 at a time, both full repo, and in this case you need to create one more sender channel between these QMC3 and QMC2 and QMC4 and QMC2. How will we are going to proceed? First we will create a queue manager. Then we are going to update the queue manager. We will inform the queue manager that you are in a cluster. After we are going to create a channel and we put the channel into cluster. After that we are going to create a queue and see after that how it is working. A sending message. This is the step we are going to follow. For that time I have just written all the steps over notepad so that it will not take much time. You For your help I have just written information over notepad, but it will be helpful for you. Let's go one by step one. Step one was first the creation of key manager. So let me create the key manager. I am going to create the key QM1, QM2, QM3 and QM4, QMC4. So let me create. First create the for your I am going to cluster name as cluster1. My cluster name will be cluster1. Let me create the key here. I am going through the MQSC script, so I am going to use the console. Let me go through the console. Let me create the key measures name. So I am using this one. Here what I am going to use, I am creating key manager whose detailed letter queue name is this and port name is this and key manager name is this. This is the why port number. You know that port number is used to communicate with each other, because port number number is unique number that is used to communicate with the other key managers. Let me create the key managers. Now you can see I have created the QMC1. Let me create the other key managers also. You don't need to use ./1. It depends upon your system. If your secret system supports that, you can use ./. My system does not support that. I am using this dots only. And the plus create key manager name, and then create MQM minus U did letter Q minus P port name minus Q. Next key manager name. After that, let me create the last key manager, that QMC4. Now our all key manager have been created. Let me use the DSP MQ to see. Now you can see QMC1, QMC2, QMC3, QMC4 all have been created. Now let me start that key manager. Next step will be step 2 will be start all the key managers and all. For starting, you have to use strnqm and then key manager name. Let me type it and show you. Now it has been starting. It has started. Now let me go to other QMC2. It is starting. Now it started. Let me go to QMC3. Is starting. Started. I'm going to QMC4. It is starting. Started. Now all 4 key manager has been started. If you use the DSP MQ, you can see all are running. You can see all are running. This all ignored because it is I have already made earlier. Currently we are working with this one. QMC 1, 2, 3, 4. And now our first step has been created for the key manager. Now let's define the key manager to the repo. Second step is the define the key manager to the repository. We need to tell the key manager that you are in the repo. Before that, you need to know one thing, that this full repo manager is in full repo, and this is also in full repo, and these all are in partial repo. So how can this key manager know that it is in full repo? And how can this key manager know it is the full repo? For this, we have a command alter qmgr repo and then cluster name. We will alter command is used to alter the key managers, alter anything. We are altering the key manager and saying that you are in a full repo whose cluster name is class1. This is the command. If you see here, to specify that a key manager holds a full repo for a cluster, use alter qmgr command and specify the attribute repo cluster name. So if you want to define a key manager in cluster and that in full repo, then you have to use this command. And rest, if you configure the channel, it will automatically consider that I am in repository. Once you created a channel, and if you configure it in the cluster, it will consider it is in a cluster. You know, to especially for the partial full repo, you don't need to explicitly mention it in the key manager name. If you define the channel name in cluster, then it will work. But for full repo, it needs to be told that you are in a full repo, because it needs to be known that who is in full repo. That's a specific command has been given. Let me go to the third step. Third step is you are going to run we are going to in the queue manager 3. Let me show for the queue manager that what I have created. There is no queue has been created. You can see there is currently no channel, no listener has been somehow listener is not showing, but I have defined here the listener port number 9001, but somehow it is not showing. Let me again define the listener. Don't need to worry if it is not shown somehow. Then we will use the define listener keyword and we will define the listener everything. You don't need to worry about that. Let me first in the second step we are going to update the QMGR information everything. So let me go to the first QMGR. Either run MQSC QMC1. I am going to in a first QMGR QMC1 and let's see what I'm doing. 1 minute. Run MQSC QMC1. Now it has been started the MQSC command. Let me first define the listener port so that it's know that who is the listener port. Let me first copy and write it. I am just what I am doing. I am just defining the listener, giving the listener name. Type is protocol type is TCP and port number is 9001. Now a listener has been created. If you see here QMC1, listener has been created. Let me start the listener also so that it's work. You have to use the start st listener and give the listener name. Now we have given the command to start. It will start in. It will start. Don't need to worry. Next, if you see here, next I have to do what I have to do. This has been completed. Now I have to give the queue measure in full repo. So to give in the queue measure in full repo, you have to use alter queue measure name and repo and cluster. Now I have added this queue measure in the full repo. Now I have to create one receiver channel and one sender channel to send information to this. Let's create the receiver channel. And receiver channel, for creating the receiver channel, just I have to copy this command and what command is saying that. Let's also read. Defining a channel name is giving and its channel type is receiver. Connection name is 901 because it is receiver channel. It is and also port number for this is 901. This is a receiver channel. And transmission TCP and cluster name I am adding in cluster, so cluster 1. Now I have added it into cluster. Now let's create a sender channel from this to this. Now I am using this port number 9002. You see here define channel. I am defining the channel type is sender and connection name is 9002 because I am sending information from this to here and transmission type is TCP and cluster name is cluster 1. Now you can see it has been created. Now our step for the key manager, this has been completed. Now let's go to the another key manager QMC2. See how it's working. For this measure, let me go out using the exist. Now let's go to the other. Now I have registered second measure. In second, you have to also define the listener because somehow it has been not written. I am defining the listener. Then again, I have to define it in the full repo. Let me define it into the full repo also. Then after, we have to create one of the receiver channel. Receiver it is in the QMC2. Then it is in the QMC2. Then I need to use the 9002 as a listener port number. and I am using the creating also sender channel. This is the reason, sender channel. The I am creating sender channel to send information from here to here. So I am using the port number 9001 to create a sender channel. I am just creating a port number 9001 and defining it in the cluster. You can see I am defining a channel type sender, and connection name is this, and defining this in a clustered one. I am defining this channel to any cluster. Now it has been created. Now let me start the listener port also. Just start TCP dot. Now it is wrong. Spelling mistake. Now I'm giving the wrong name. Name was there. Name was TCP dot listener. 1 minute. Has been accepted to start. It will start. Now for the QML2 work has been also be done. Now let's come to PMC3. PMC3 is a partial repo. And let me go out from this. Here. Use the int or exit anything. I'm using int and go out. Now let's go to the QMC3, and QMC3 I have to create one sender channel to send information to this, and I have to create one receiver channel to receive information from inside this. Let's make it that. Then QMC3, I have to run QMC3. Now I have to define the listener. Then we define the listener. Now let me start the listener. Give the listener name. Net. I given the start from ART. Now just to start has been accepted. Now let's go to other. Let me create the sender receiver channel. And for the sender channel, I have to use the for receiver channel. I have to use the port of the same queue measure, that is the 9003. Then I am going to create the receiver channel. Then I am going to create a sender channel from this to this to. I am going to use the port number of 9001 so that you can send communication to this. And then you can see here the 9001 is there. If you have ended, you can comment me. I will okay to reply. Now for the QMF3, it has been work has been done. Now I have to left for the QMC4, and QMC4 I have to what I have to do. I have to create a receiver channel and a sender channel to send information to 9001. Let's do it. I have to just do int and go to it. Now let's create QMC and MQSC. M4. Now I have to define the listener so that it will listen the image. Now let's define the listener. Now let me define the one of the sender channel to send information from this to this. So I'm going to use 9001 as a port. I'm going to 9001 as a port. Let me define the listener. Let me define the also a receiver channel to receive information. and I'm going to 904 port, which is the same port of QMC4. Now also I am going to use I am going to start the listener port. Start start listen listener. Give the listener name tcp.listener, and let's go to start. Let's start it. Now it has been started. Go out of that. Now our what step has been done. I've just completed the created the queue manager. I just updated the cluster information of the full repo to this and this. Now I just created the channel. I just created a queue manager, updated the channel queue manager information to the full repo, updated the created the channels. Now I have to create the queue so that I can send information from one to other queue. So let me create the queue. So where I have to create the queue? I have to create the queue to the all queue managers, so that I just let me create the queue. I'm just keeping the queue name as a class q1. And just I'm adding this queue to the cluster, and after that I need to alter the queue so that you can do one thing also. You can define here also. You can do one thing. You can define here also your attribute like that. I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm just giving some property. I'm defined and notified, and using the cluster workload as any. This will help us in making the uniform workload. Let me go and to show you what to doing. Student, I need to go to each queue manager, run MQSC QMC1. I just reach to queue manager 1. Let me copy and paste it. I am just creating a queue, defining in a cluster class.1. Cluster workload is using any because this any is used for equal load balancing. Just doing this. Let me go out from this. Let me go to other MC2. Let me do that. Let me go out from this. Let me go to 3. Let me go to 4 with this. Now our queue has been created. If you let me show you through MQ Explorer, it will be good to understand. I just created a 4 QMC, QMC1, QMC2, QMC3, and 4. I just defined the QMC 3, 1 and 2 into the full repo. If you see here, plus.1. QMC1 and QMC2 is in a full repo, and QMC3 and QMC4 in a partial repo. You can see here also. QMC1 and QMC2 is in a full repo, and QMC3 and QMC4 is in a partial repo. Similarly, you can see here QMC1 and 2 in partial full repo, and QMC3 and 4 in partial repo. Now what I will do, I have created a queue manager. I just created a queue manager. I have updated the queue manager into cluster. What I have done, I have just added queue manager 1 and QMC2 into the full repo. After that, what I have done, I have just created a channel. You can see, if you see here into channel, that is just cluster receiver channel what I have created, and a cluster sender channel. QMC1, if you see in QMC1 I have just created a receiver channel and sender channel to send information to this. If you see in QMC2, what I have done, I just created a receiver channel and a sender channel. And this channel, if you see here, what I have done, I just one channel to send information to this, one channel receiver channel. If you see in other queue managers, if you see also here QMC3, I just created a receiver channel and sender channel. Receiver channel to receive information and sender channel to send information from this to this. Similarly, in QMC4, I have just created receiver channel and sender channel to send information this. Let me show you the QMC4 also. You can see it. Now let me show you the queue. I have also created a queue. I just created a class.1 queue I have been created, and you can see, if you see here, I just added this into the cluster. If you go to cluster, I just set into cluster 1 cluster. I just here added. If you can see, I have created a queue in all the 4 queue managers. I added into the cluster. You can see. So you go to the replace. This has been created in QMC3. But wait, I can see it is created. Let me show it's in QMC3. So how QMC3 it has been not created. Let me see what error has been done. Somehow I have just in QMC3 I have not written any command. You can see here I have just not written the command. Let me run the QMC3 also. Okay, QMC3 by mistake it has been left to write it. Let me just write it. Now it has been done. Now if you see here, it has been created. Now let me see the listener port is working or not, because it is necessary to work. Now it is stopped somehow in 1. Let me start it. Now it is starting. Somehow it stopped. Let me go to other. It is stopped also. It is stopped also. And it is stopped also. Let me see how why this is stopped. And it should not be stopped. I saw here. You can see here. If you see the here, I have while creating the queue manager, I have already defined the port number 9001, 9002, 903, and 904. Somehow it is working. You see, somehow it is working. You see, somehow it is working, because when I tried to in one of the queue manager, when I tried to start it, it was not starting. But when I changing, because 9004 port number I have already defined above for the queue manager, but somehow it was not showing here. Again, when I was defining it 904 again, that's the reason it is not working. When I am changing it to 906, let me change 7, anything number. When I click on apply, if you see here, it will be now work. It is now running, you can see. So that's the reason it was not working, if you see here. Because so here it is not necessary to define the listener port, because already this one is working. So you can ignore this line, you can ignore this line, because this port is not necessary, because this was already created here. Now let me test the message by putting some message. Thank you. What I am currently doing, I am just putting some message to here, and it will go to the other cluster queue. Let me connect. I am going to put images from the RF util this time. I am just going to use the QM. Let me load the name. Why it is not showing here? Let me cut here. So that's showing. Let me connect the QMC2, and let me open the file. Let me add one message, dot root. And if you see here this message, I am putting into the QMC2, and message will be informally distributed to all other queue users. Let me put the message. I'm just putting I'm doing the right queue. I'm just writing the wait. I'm just not giving the queue name. Giving the queue name. Vision the queue name. I'm just writing it. Wait. Yes, why this is happening. Just that one. I just vision the queue name. Just open the file. That's the root. Just in right click. Now you can see message has been sent. You can see a message sent. Let me put few more message. I just thrown many message. If you see it has been distributed, how it is distributed. If you see in, let me see in the QMC1. If you see here, there are 4 messages been come. You browse the message. You see messages, same message here. You see in, let me show through here. If you see in QMC1, you browse here. You choose the queue and browse here. Let me show. You browse here, you can see 4 messages there. Now if you see other QMC2 already sent, let me show the QMC3. You can see here browse messages coming informally. 4 messages also came here, and you see here 4 messages. I have just thrown 12 message and it divided into 4. So in this way you can see how the cluster works. I'm just doing today what I have done. I just created a 4 key here, define those to the full repo. I am just defining to the partial repo, and I am using created a channel, that one receiver channel and one sender channel between the full repo, and one sender channel between the partial repo to the full repo, so that they can send the information. I am just created the queue, and I am just what I have done. I have just define the queue into the cluster and just see how it works. This is a simple way in which you can create a queue manager and define it to the cluster and see how the cluster works through the MQSC script. Today I have created a queue manager and defined it into a cluster queue manager. And if you have any question, any doubt, any type of confusion, you can comment me. I am okay to reply you, and I will reply you. Any doubt, you can call, you can contact me. And for now, next in I will also create a new video on the important topics and some more concept. If you have any suggestion, you can give me. For now, tata, bye. Bye.